Hey YouTube, what's happening? It's your boy Flinthillstunna, Carolina Big Dog Ridgeway Young Gunner. And y'all already know we on the road to 100K. We just got to get this shit 20 out the way. So make sure if you're watching the videos, you smash the subscribe button, hit the post notification bell so you won't miss none of the content that I'm about to bring to you. Like the videos, share the videos, go tell a friend that we locked in, twin. I love y'all, man. Stunner gang. Shout out to everybody that's been locked in with me, that been rocking with me, staying consistent with me, man. I promise I ain't gonna let y'all down. I'm gonna stay consistent with y'all, just like y'all staying consistent with me. Yeah, I know Friday, I just did a story time. I got all my content rolled out. The way I wanna do it is on Mondays, I'm gonna do a My Story Monday. So I'm gonna start every week off telling y'all a story about me. I feel like everybody see me right now for the man I am today, and it's a lot of trial and tribulation, a lot of pain, a lot of learning that went into what evolved me to be me. So I just want to be a little personal and give y'all some stories and some insight on some of the stuff that I did go through, some of the stuff that, you know, really made me me. So we're going to kick this week off with another video. Y'all see the title down below. I'm going to tell y'all what caused me to get in the streets and how life came full circle, and that very thing basically encouraged me to start the transition to get out of the streets. I'm just being honest, open, and transparent with y'all because I know everybody's story is special. And I know it's probably some people that's going through similar stuff that I went through, and you never know how your story will help other people. So I'm going to share some of my stories with y'all, and we're going to build from there. Before we get into the stories, I want to give a big shout out to Queen Dread, Miss Sagittarius, Serenia Chappelle, and KT. Y'all was my weekly most engaged supporters, so I just want to take a moment and sit down and tell y'all I appreciate y'all. Every Monday, I'm going to give y'all a shout out. Most engaged during the week, I'm going to give y'all an update and shout y'all out on Mondays. So I just wanted to tell all four of y'all, man, I appreciate y'all for being in the comments. I appreciate y'all for liking the videos and staying on me, man, holding me accountable to stay consistent and keep the pressure coming. I appreciate y'all. I hope y'all appreciate the content. Let's get into the story, man. So we're going to make the story short today. I ain't going to keep y'all for no long time. I really don't want to do no whole bunch of editing. So I'm just going to give y'all a quick story. Y'all leave in the comments if you like the story. What else you know, give me your opinion in the comment. Give me y'all feedback. Let me know what y'all think, man. All right. What caused me to get in the streets? First and foremost, as a child, I had basically everything that you could want or need. I just come from a long line of family from an area where it's really nothing to do. Very low opportunity. And if you want some money, unfortunately, where I'm from, you got to get out there and get you some. And the only influences I had, other than a hard working man, something that I really never wanted to do was work myself real hard and enjoy when I was 60. Like that, even as a child, I used to feel like, man, what this, you know, everybody tell you to do something, but is this all that I'm going to be working to get? Is this? I want a different lifestyle. I always been somebody that felt like I want the best of the best. I want to be able to move freely. I want to do something meaningful to me. And my mother's had her own business for 30 years. So I think that's like what really birthed and gave me entrepreneurial spirit. Like, I really think that's really what, you know, gave me the bug to do my own business, to always want to do something for myself. But long story short, I had everything that you could want. I certainly had everything that I needed and most of what I wanted. Sometimes I don't think as adults, we realize how much pressure kids have on them, especially when they get into those teenage years from 13 up into 17, 18. They have to have a strong foundation to not get pulled into the crowd or the popularity contest. And that's basically, now that I'm older, looking back on hindsight, I know that that's the battle that I was facing. Finding out who I really was and how to still fit in amongst social groups and other people. To be honest, that's just me being real with myself. But my mother was always somebody in the family that took care of all of my cousin kids, all of my aunt kids. Everybody used to come to the house, get in the pool. We had the biggest parties. She used to call them sipping dips. She used to have sipping dips and house parties. Just a fun person to be around. A lot of people used to come and enjoy the atmosphere. My daddy was a fairly popular dude in his town. My big cousins and people in the community always told me they tried to walk like him, talk like him. He was a household name. All the women wanted to be around him. I'm just saying that to say I probably didn't, see that side of him within the household. So it gave me a different outlook and different perspective of what a man really was. And I knew it laid in between that popular nigga and my granddad, a nigga that get up and go to work every day and lay his life on the line for his family. And I felt like me, myself, I was somewhere in the middle. Man, my mama always took care of other people's kids. She used to do stuff like go to alternative schools and pass out book bags and hygiene products just out of her own pocket. If it was anybody in the community that touched her heart, she would bring them in, let them stay. So a lot of my cousins was in and out. Long story short, the older I got, the more stuff I used to want. Not need. It was stuff that I used to want. And my mama was always like a fashionable person. Like, she always was traveling to different places, going and seeing what fashion was the new fashion before it got to us. So we would go through stuff like she would be in Chicago, New York, New Jersey, going to hair shows and different events. And she would bring my school clothes home from those places. It wasn't what was popular in my area. So I used to look at it like, man, you buy me what you want me to have, not what I want. Now, everybody knows a pair of white Air Force Ones, Uptown, all whites, whatever you call them, everybody know that's like a staple in our community. That shoe completes and goes with any outfit. So I ain't never asked for like a lot of stuff. It would just be clothes. The older I got, it would be, I want exactly what I want. I don't want you to bring me none of this other stuff back. And now looking back on it, she was just up on fashion and I was behind. Everybody else was behind her. She was already out seeing what was going on. I didn't look at it like that. I'm young. I'm 13, 14 years old. So I'm not looking at it like that. She bring me some clothes home. I tell her I need these Air Force Ones and some Timbs. It's wintertime. I want Air Force Ones and Timbs. She buy me the Timbs, but she buy me some Nikes, like what everybody wearing now. The New Balances that everybody wearing with the gray lines on them. Those were the kind of Nikes they was back then. They was tennis shoes, Nikes. My older cousins on my mama's side would have abundance of stuff. My cousins on my dad's side was able to buy abundance of stuff. So they would kind of ask me at times, man, you want to make a couple dollars? Take this to such and such. And I would always be like, nah, I ain't, on nothing like that. So this particular time, I want these shoes. And she brought me the tennis Nikes. And I wasn't even really upset when she bought them to me. I was just like, man, I want the Air Force Ones. What made me upset was she had a friend she grew up with. And her friend at the time just wasn't doing too good. She had a few kids. And after I got the shoes, after my Christmas and everything was complete, she wake me up and say, put your clothes on. We about to ride to my friends. So when we get to her friend's house, like I got some bags in the trunk, get them out and take them in the house. That's for their Christmas. And I don't know for what reason, that kind of made me so mad because it was like, man, I want these Nikes. And I feel like I already am willingly letting other people come stay, take up my space, be in here and have a piece of my mother. I just want these shoes and I can't get that, but we about to take a whole nother family some gifts. Now that I'm older, I know that was just the devil that got into my mind and made me have resentment somewhat towards my mother without me knowing it. I was mad, didn't want to take the gifts in the house. She made me take the gifts in the house. I take the gifts in the house, and of course she talked to her friend. I play with the kids. And by the way, this wasn't the first time. She's done this a few times. I make up in my mind that, like, while I'm there playing with the kids, all I can think about is my cousins that's been asking me, hey, you want to make some money? And I knowing if I get the right amount, I can buy my own shoes. That's just the only thoughts that was in my head the whole time. I can remember going with the kids in there playing, but I'm just thinking about, I'm about to go get this money. And when I'm on the way home, I can remember me visualizing my outfits with the Air Force Ones. That's how I know the devil is in your mind. Your thoughts is what create good and what create evil. Within your life, your thoughts control what you want to do. I actually was manifesting the lifestyle I wanted to live. And I was, in my mind, making myself to fit this role before it came. I knew the journey that I was about to embark on. Long story short, it's the weekend. I leave my mom's to go to my dad's family. So I tell my cousin that come get me to stop by my other cousin's house. We stop, and I tell them to give me what he give me. They make the play. They call on the phone, tell each other what they seen and what I need to bring back. He tell me what I can get out of it. At 13 to probably 16, through high school, I had my own hustle with CDs and DVDs. That was like my real hustle. Middlemaning between two to three of my family members. That was my hustle until I got in high school and I started hanging with my homeboy that named me Stunner. He was probably 6, 7 years older than me. He named me Stunner, and when I started hanging with him that whole summer, it just put me deeper into it and made me, really jump off the porch at 16 to 17 to start saying, okay, I'm about to go, full throttle with this stuff. But from 13 to 16, I was just, middlemaning in the streets. Fast forwarded up until me being 27. I'm from a place where my high school is like 4 different towns go to one high school. And it's the county school. It's the high school for our whole county, but it's 4 to 5 different towns in this one school. Over 4,000 people. When I was in school, 3,000 to 4,000 people were in the high school. So it's a fairly big high school. Unfortunately, gangs, being from where we was from, past beef with our bigger cousins and people that was just where we was from, led to like violence wasn't abnormal at our school. We probably had 2 to 3 riots that made the news. So that was just the environment that we, was in. So, and it wasn't all bad. Some stuff was very good. Life is what you make it no matter where you are. Y'all probably would think 13 is an early age, but most of the people where I'm from really are in their life 9, 10 years old. We know their name and we see them walking and we, you know what I'm saying? So I think I held on longer than most in my environment. Long story short, man, it was just one particular group. I'm not gonna say the color or no names because I don't want it to rehatch no old wounds. But it was just one particular group that was notorious in our little area. And we knew each other. Some of them was, we went to school together. Some of them was cool with people that where I was from. They was from a different town. But I knew they was real steppers and standing on business for real. For real, for real. So I got into it with them. I had been out of my mama's house for a long time. But in the midst of it, they was calling me, telling me stuff like, you know what I'm saying, I know where your mama house at. I know what room, your room. I know what. And they was having real details. And by me knowing them, it kind of scared me. You know what I'm saying? It kind of put me on high alert. And I called my cousins. And, you know what I'm saying? They gave me everything I needed. We went to, where I knew them to be at. They wasn't there. I didn't let it go. But I kind of, forgot about it. Fast forward a month or 2 later, I go to the club, and I'm in the club handling business with the guy that actually owned the club. They in the club, they're partying. I come when it's almost closing time, 1:45, 2 o'clock. So they cutting the lights on. I'm sitting at the bar, and I get a drink. I'm waiting on, you know what I'm saying, the big man. And the girl, like, make me my drink, and when she give it to me, I see her, like, looking behind me, slide me my drinks with, like, a worried look on her face. And I, you know, get my drink, turn around, and it's probably like 7, 8, 9 of them, like, circle me. But they had a little distance in me, probably about 7 or 8 feet. But the lights was on, so everybody else saw it before I did because my back was turned. So when I looked and realized, just from them being who they was, I knew it was about to go down. I knew it was on. You know what I'm saying? I knew I couldn't escape it, that I just had to go ahead and, you know what I'm saying, handle it head on. So I stood up so they wouldn't, like, ambush me. And it was people that was clearing the way. Once those people cleared the way, the main one that I was into it with began to walk towards me. And this guy came out of nowhere and knocked me out the way and was, like, holding me at the same time. And I don't know if he was their big homie or he was into it with them and they respected him. But he basically was like, nah, bro, y'all ain't gonna do nothing to this nigga. I don't know the guy. I don't know who he is. He just come out of nowhere. Whatever y'all do to him, y'all gotta do to me. And they basically, you know, all right, bro, we ain't know everything, you know, it's cool. And they go outside, they leave. I'm in there, he talking to me and like, bro, you don't know who I am? Like, nah, bro, you know what I'm saying? I don't really know you. He tell me who he was, like, bro, I'm such and such. And we went through a crazy period in our life, man. Your mama was the only one that used to bring us gifts and do stuff for us. And I never forget them, bro. I never forget you. I never forget your mama. Them boys know me, man. Trust me. They ain't gonna do nothing to you. They know what time it is. If you need me, bro, just call me. He let me know he was willing to give his life and delete a life for me. And I was leaving. He walked me to my car. I got in the car, and I couldn't do nothing but cry. Because, you know what I'm saying, I felt so small. Like, man, I've been out here for 13, 14 years of my life just doing what I'm doing. And my mama was laying a foundation down for me the whole time. And when my life was on the line, somebody that I wasn't even remembering, a thought that I never thought about outside of being mad, and that caused me to have resentment. And I didn't ever treat my mama no different. I wasn't mean to. We always had a good relationship. I just rebelled and chose to go down the wrong path for a pair of shoes. And I had everything. She worked harder than anybody I knew to provide for not only me, but my family, my cousins. And I was out there being spoiled and entitled. I chose a path that can hurt her, my grandparents, my daddy, and myself. And I chose that path out of resentment. And the foundation she laid for me saved my life in a situation where that I knew the extent of what it was going to go to. You know what I'm saying? I can't say too much. I don't want to pull back no old scabs off no wounds and cause nothing for me right now. I got to, of course, protect other people that still might be indulging in whatever they was doing. But me personally, it just made me get in the car and I started crying, like, instantly. Like, man, I'm sorry, God. I'm sorry for my mama. I drove to my mama's house and unlocked the door and went and laid in the bed with my mama. Like, didn't tell her what was going on or nothing. I just wanted to be close to her because I was so thankful for the foundation that she was laying for me. I was so thankful that she had put in work that had saved my life in a area that she had no parts of. She had changed. When she changed her life, I was probably 10, and I can honestly say she was one of the only people that I saw practice what they preach. Stay on the right path even when she fell short. She would seek a way to get back in the presence of God and make sure she communicated and do everything she needed to do to free her family and make it comfortable for everybody around her. And it just made me, realize, man, God is real. Karma is real. Our story is already written. We just have to embrace doing right, acknowledging God no matter what we do, and no matter how hard it get to do right, no matter how hard it is to see what our parents are saying, no matter how much right now might hurt us, in the end, if they operating out of a place of love, if they taking care of you, and not doing anything hurtful and harmful to you, they only telling you tough things and talking tough to you because they want what's best for you, and they already been down that road and they see what's to come. And we sometimes don't see it until it's right in our face. But it just made me realize, man, I had wasted a lot of time. So at that point, I probably had $3,000-$4,000 worth of on me. I called my cousins and them and was giving it to them for a cheap price, what I got for it. It was my first time really going to get a job that I worked and was really like working through a company, not nothing to just pass time and get out the way. Life at that point, I'm not going to tell you it got easy, because to be honest, at that point is when life got the most challenging for me, because it was always like me going through something. And when you in that lifestyle and when you making a lot of money real fast, a regular job ain't gonna never seem like it's enough. And you always gonna feel like you selling yourself short, especially when you doing it for long periods of time and that's all you know. But honestly, it was a struggle until 3 years ago. I made my mind up and I was about 32. So it was after that, I still went through 5-6 years of like, dibbling and dabbling. But 3 to 4 years ago, man, I made my mind up. All right, God, I'm going to do it your way. And it was a tough 2 years because everybody that I had did a lot for and I had love for and I thought would be there for me, they was changing up and finding their own path, and I couldn't ask them for nothing. And by me not benefiting them in the areas that I used to, because I no longer provided that lifestyle for them, they ain't have a use for me. So it was a lonely, dark period, but it was well worth it. And it wasn't because they didn't want to be there. It was because God didn't allow them to be there. He gave them their own situations at the time I had my situation. So I can only depend on God and tap into the God inside of me and see what I can do for myself. And once I did that, man, and let all the resentment go, I'm still a recovering hustler. I fight the urge every day. I fight the urge to do wrong and keep myself on the path. It's still a work in progress. Still a hard job balancing having those old habits and not being able to have the same lifestyle as fast. It's a challenge for me, but it's well worth it, man. I was able to purchase my land. Out of all the times I was in the streets and all the money I had, I never put out any real music or any projects to say this what I was doing. Because when you really in the streets, if you really in the streets, for you to tell what you're doing and take pictures is really stupid. And I was raised by real people that showed us how to be organized. So I could never put myself on Front Street because of what I was doing. Now that I stopped, I'm free enough to just tell the stories. And I realized that all the stuff that I saw and went through is still a part of my story. So I feel like me choosing the streets was a hindrance to me. It held me up and it put me further back. It gave me life lessons that I couldn't get in a school. I couldn't get on the job. It made me a well-rounded person, but I lost a lot and sacrificed a lot just to be 30 and get to a point to where I had to do what my mama knew was telling me to do anyway. So, man, I know this video was short. I know it ain't, you know what I'm saying, that long, but I did want to do it because my culture, a lot of us sometimes hold resentment to our parents, and we don't understand what they telling us and what they have been doing for us. I just wanted to share that with y'all because somebody might watch this and choose not to waste their time. Flinthillstunna, Carolina Big Dog, Ridgeway Young Gunner. We're on the road to 100K. We just got to get that little 20 out the way. Stunner gang. I love y'all, man, for real.